our last class vividly, I introduced a topic, subtopic called interest rate parity theorem. Interest rate parity theorem. Interest rate parity theorem. Remember, we are doing two topics at the same time. We are doing derivatives and international finance. And international finance, these things go hand in hand. They're not supposed to be separated. It's derivatives and international finance, right? And if you remember, Charity, this is something we were doing with you in our last class. Is there somebody who is able to remember the formula F? Is there somebody who is able to remember the formula F? Anybody who is able to remember formula F? Andika hivi juju ntajua, I'll be able to follow. F equals who? At least bila amesema F equals S, but into something, 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 into something. That's something most of us have forgotten. That's something most of us have forgotten. F into something. 1 plus interest rate in country C over 1 plus interest rate in country B, like that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Meshkipa. I can see you're doing a good job. Thank you very much. Now, this question, wanasema, assume that the spot exchange rate equals 100 Japanese yen to $1 US. So they have given us the spot exchange rate is 100 yens per dollar. 100 yens per dollar. Assume that the spot exchange rate equals 100 yens to $1 US, and the 6 months forward, 6 months forward, 6 months forward, 6 months forward, 6 months forward equals 101, equals 101, 101, again yens per US dollar. This is the F. This is the forward rate. The forward rate has been given to us. An investor can purchase a T-bill in the US, which matures in 6 months' time and earns a return of 3%. The annual rate of return on a similar investment in Japan is what they want us to give them, of which I would want to give you, great students of mine, 1 minute. You try that question, you try that question, you try that question, and then we get to see what you guys will be able to give, us. What will you guys give us? Is there somebody who has been able to understand the question, however vaguely? One thing that I'm able to understand as I wait for you guys to say yes or no, one thing that I've been able to understand is that these people want us to connect F and S using interest rates. So they would want me, ladies and gentlemen, basically to have a write down of, the interest rate parity theorem. So at least 1 mark I'll be able to put down, 1 mark, the low-hanging fruits. I'll write this formula down. And then I would want a bright student to go ahead from whatever that is given here, to go ahead and give me country C. Which one is the numerator country? Which one is the numerator country? From whatever that has been given down here, which one is the numerator country? Which one is the numerator country? You know, like now, from nowhere, you'll get somebody telling you Kenya. You ask them why Kenya. And yet, you can see from the exchange rates, there is nothing like Kenya here. Sasiet says US, Karen says US. And I'm so sure that Sasiet, Karen, and other students who are telling us US, they're making the reasoning in the context of between Japan and the US, which one is a superpower? Which one is a superpower? Is that really how we reason? That inferior country should always be in the denominator. Superior country should always be in the numerator. No, we don't reason like that. Ladies and gentlemen, you look at the presentation of the exchange rate here. You look at presentation of the exchange rate here. you look at presentation of the exchange rate. This exchange rate is yens per dollar. This exchange rate is yens per dollar. It's yens per dollar, like that. Ukiangalia vizuri hapa, unaweza kujua, ladies and gentlemen, ni gani ambayo imelaliwa. Ni gani imelaliwa. Ni gani imelaliwa. Hapo utajua straight away dola iko chini. Kwa hivyo hii itakuwa, denominator itakuwa ni US, and then numerator inakuwa ni Japan. Japan. Kwa hivyo country C ni Japan. Country C ni Japan. Country C ni Japan. Betty is still saying US, but now I want to believe with this explanation, you look at this. I want to believe Betty with this explanation. Now we are at home together. We are at home together. Oh, US imelaliwa. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. US imelaliwa. So ile kuku ambayo inalalia mayai ile iko juu ni Japan. Ni Japan. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, what I will do, I'll come here and say, what is the question? What is the question really here? What is the question here? What is the question here? The question here, they want us, ladies and gentlemen, to give them the annual return on a similar investment in Japan. Yes. So they want us to give them interest rate Japan's. They want us to give them Japan's interest rate. So hata kama si understand sana, nitakuja hapa na mwandikia woye, na mwambia let the annual rate of Japan be equal to R. Let the annual rate of Japan be equal to R. And once I say that let the annual rate of Japan be equal to R, I'm gonna keep silent for at least 2 minutes to see whether there is any student who will be able to really fix some of the metrics that we have here in a way that we shall be able to get the value of R as the subject of the formula. Let's see. Let me give you 1 minute. Let me give you 1 minute. Let me give you 1 minute to try. Please just try this out. 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 And then be able to see who will be the first to bail the cat. Great. So ladies and gentlemen, we are back here and I'm trying to plug in and then we compare with the answers that you got. So the forward rate is not in doubt. This is 101. The spot rate is 100 into 1 plus interest rate in Japan. It is R. But remember, R is for a whole year. And hours, 6 months. All over 1 plus interest rate in the US. So interest rate in the US, interest rate in the US, interest rate in the US is what percentage? Interest rate in the US is what percentage? Right, 3%, isn't it? 3%. So that is 0.03 times 6 over 12, because the 3% is per annum. The 3% is per annum. Great. And this is supposed to be in brackets like that. Great. This is supposed to be in brackets like that, ladies and gentlemen. So come here slowly. We have 101 equals 100 into 1 plus 0.5 R all over 1 point. Could you kindly give me this thing? I don't want to use a lot of energy thinking. This plus this gives me what figure, somebody? This plus this gives me 1.015. Is that okay, Nadia? Check again. Oh, Nadia, what you're giving me is this. So whatever you get there, Nadia, please add to 1. Thank you very much. You guys are brilliant. You guys are brilliant. So then I would want to make R the subject of the formula. So what I'll do, I'll cross multiply. This will be 101 times 1.015 all over 100 equals 1 plus 0.5 R. You can also decide to open the bracket, like that. But here I've been able to multiply, divide by 100. So could you kindly go ahead and give me this figure alone, this side alone. 101 times this divided by 100, right? Please, this side alone, this side alone. Is there somebody who can get for us this figure? Meshkeep tells me, it's also important that you guys please be signing in using your names. I would want to know your names. I'm the next governor of Central Bank of Kenya. I don't want when you will be coming to my office, right, in September, that is when you start introducing yourself afresh. I should have known you. From the beginning. Yeah. So come here, they're telling me this is 1.02515. Are we able to get this figure for this blocked? Are we able to get this 1.02515? Yes, equals 1 plus 0.5R. So come and put like terms together. So this will be 1.02515 minus 1 equals 0.5R. So when you subtract, this will be 0.02515 equals 0.5R. And therefore, if I make R the subject of the formula, if I make 5, wow, that's quite a tough name. That's quite a tough name. That's a tough name. I can't even pronounce that name. Later on, I'll be putting on the mic. Please, DX, you should be able to help us read that name out. If I try pronouncing it, it's quite tough. It's quite tough, yeah, quite tough. So then R will be 0.02515 divided by 0.5. GX, is that a Kenyan name? Oh, Zambian. Zambian. And you're doing CPA Kenya. Why are you doing CPA Kenya? Why? Oh, half caste. Okay, great. So R, then at the end of the day, R will be equal to what here? 0.0503, which is the same as 5.03%. 5.03%. So I saw 2 students, no, not 2, there were about 5 who got this 5.03%. Yes, you had the concept. Yes, you had the concept. You got for a whole year, you had the concept. Mwalimu 1.5. Where Mayom? And Mayom, we were talking today. I don't know what happened. Mayom, please, I would want you to go and look at your body mass. Mayom, these two cannot marry. You can't add. You see, Mayom, you can't add those two. They are unlike terms. You cannot add and then you tell us it is 1.5. That will be very unfortunate. This one is a like partner with this. So it crosses over. You're left with 0.5R. The day has been busy, I understand. It's not easy. Thank you very much. Now, at times, ladies and gentlemen, when you would want to really disturb the students' minds, you'll come and ask them, like what has been asked there in part A. Explain how inflation rates could be used to forecast exchange rates. Explain how inflation rates could be used to forecast exchange rates. How many marks are they giving us for that question? 6. Trust you me. Very many students will not get more than 2. The question is easy, but very many students will not get more than 2 marks in that. Most of them will get 1, at most 2. So please write for me there, inflation rate, parity theorem. I don't know how you are numbering, but the most important thing is that we are through with interest rate. Now we are tackling inflation rate parity theorem. The word parity means what? The word parity means the same. The word parity means the same. Have you written the title? Have you written the title? Have you written the title? Yes. Thank you so much. And ensure that you underline it very well. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. The concept is very, very similar to what we have just done. There's nothing here. What you're supposed to know is that if two countries have the same rate of inflation, then the forward exchange rate will be equal to the spot exchange rate, i.e. the exchange rate will not fluctuate. Associate, were you able to get that 5.03 yourself? Were you able to get that 5.03 yourself, Associate? Yeah, you see the problem with AFM? So many students will think that the paper is easy. No, they don't end up getting these figures. They don't end up getting the figures. Is that how one could answer part? No. We haven't yet finished. We have just begun. That if two countries have the same rate of inflation, then the forward exchange rate will be equal to the spot exchange rate, i.e. the exchange rate will not do what here? Fluctuate. What we are saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that if inflation of country A, talk of country B, equals inflation of country C, then F will be equal to the spot rate. Then F will be equal to the spot rate. If the two countries' inflation is the same, then the forward exchange rate will exactly be equal to the spot exchange rate. We know that in practice, inflation rates can never be the same. In practice, if I could grab this, we are saying that in practice, as a dash there, in practice, inflation rates of two countries here cannot be the same. Reason being, they keep on fluctuating depending on the policies of individual countries. They will fluctuate. We expect them to fluctuate. And therefore, the exchange rate will fluctuate. So in practice, inflation rates of two countries can't be the same. And of course, they cannot be constant. The inflation rates will keep on, in this case here, being different between two countries. And even if they're different, they'll keep on fluctuating because of the what here? Different policies. So the exchange rate will fluctuate, i.e. Forward cannot be equal to what here? To the spot rate. Cannot be the same. Cannot be the same. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. In a scenario where the two countries inflation rates are different, we use the inflation rate. We use the inflation rate parity model. We use the inflation rate parity model or theory to estimate future or forward exchange rates, future or forward exchange rate between the two countries, i.e. the forward exchange rate should be equal to the spot exchange rate into 1 plus inflation of country C all over 1 plus inflation of country B. Inflation of country B. This is what you are required to write for you to get those 6 marks. So the moment in this case you throw the model down there, then automatically the examiner will be able to know that this person requires you to wear a hat of a CPA Kenya. Is not your normal, your usual Tom, Dick, and what here? Harry. It's a bright chap, bright student. Or invisible, eh? It's a bit invisible. They're telling me, Mwalim, what you do, simply focus. I should come and focus. I should come here and focus. I hope now they're able to see it much better. I hope now they can see it much better. Ivamo, are you able to see it much better? Yes. So I'm so sure, ladies and gentlemen, that if you got this kind of a question, you would have easily answered it that way, because you guys are bright, you know. You guys are okay. Great. Yeah, somebody wants us to tackle part C of this question. I don't know why. Part C is about arbitrage. Part C is about arbitrage, which is our last subtopic here. Why don't you let me just handle this concept first of all, inflation, I finish it, and then we shall be able to go to the arbitrage, right? All right. So you don't mix up so many things at the same time. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, and I would want us to really try a question from our past paper. But before I try this question from our past paper, why can't I just give you some small illustration here? Small illustration. These guys here have given you the forward rate. They'll come and give you the forward rate is 100 Kenya shillings per dollar. Spot rate, high Julikani, right? So they'll come and give you the interest rate in Kenya. Interest rate in Kenya is 14%. They'll give you inflation rate in Kenya is 8%, is 8%, is 8%. They give you interest rate in USA is 6%. They give you inflation rate in USA is 4%, is 4%. So then it will be required, ladies and gentlemen, here to determine the spot rate, using inflation parity. So there's something I forgot here. This is supposed to be 3 months forward rate. 3 months forward rate. Please add this 3 months forward rate. 3 months forward rate. So if CASNEB was to give me a chance to test and then they ask me, Mwalimu, very fast, just think about a small question on this line, I'll do it this way. And I'm so sure if I present this kind of a question, that I'll be able to knock down 50% of you. I'll throw you over 50% of you under the bus. The bus in this case, which is going to Canaan, will even, in this case, here, crash you on its way. But nowadays, I'm an old man. If they ask me for questions, I can't do what I used to do when I was younger. Now I'm an old man who is more reasonable. I want all my students to pass, right? We didn't want to throw anybody under the bus. My home, is that 8%? Yes, my handwriting is among the worst. But the other day I was reading something which really consoled me. The genius says I have a bad handwriting. Tarkan, I feel you. You need to invest in laptops. Thank you very much. So is there anybody who has already been able to get an answer for us? Anybody who has been able to get an answer for us? Maureen, I'll remind you because today is your day. Otherwise, if it was another day, I would have told you to. I'll remind you, Maureen. So F equals the spot into 1 plus inflation, country C, over 1 plus inflation, country B. Inflation, country B. Robert, 99.05. 99.01 Kenya shillings per US dollar. Per US dollar. 98. You can see they're getting different answers. And then we'll be able to work it out ourselves here for us to see how many students, if I were an examiner. Of course, I'm an old dog. Old dogs can never be given anything to set. Always, thank you very much, Nadia. They are always annual. That's what we said, always. They're annual figures, yes. Always, they are annual figures. So now we are tackling a very serious, highly examinable area. And we realize that I'm tackling a highly examinable area when I reduce my speed of teaching. When you realize Mwalimu is reducing his speed of teaching, know that this is a sensitive thing. If it was not a sensitive thing, I would have just brushed. So I'm waiting for 2 more answers. 99.02 is being repeated. Nessie Anyango. 97.06 Fatma. 99. 96. 99.02 is being repeated. Charity is giving us 98. So what we shall do, because this is a very easy question, Students who will have gotten this question wrongly, today they will send mwalimu a present. Yeah. So students who will have gotten this question wrongly today, they are going to send mwalimu a present of 1,000 bob because we have just earned our salaries, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm doing the question. If you got the wrong answer, if you got it wrongly, you are sending to my number 1,000 bob because you got our salary on first. We haven't finished yet our salary. No, I'm joking. Now, what has really made me a little bit unhappy with you guys? You guys, some of you used interest rate. And yet the examiner is very, very specific. He wants us to make use of what? Yeah, inflation. He wants us to make use of inflation. Is there anybody, if you guys were to be very honest with me, is there anybody who made use of interest rates? If you are to be very honest with me, is there anybody who made use of interest rates? Is there anybody who made use of interest rates? Not me. I like that at interest rate. Is there anybody who made use of interest rate in a question where they want us to use? No. Thank you very much. Then you guys are very bright. Remember, we are talking about how many months we wrote here, Mayom. It's 3 months forward. Jilo amecheka akasema mimi niko kwa hiyo. It's good to be that courageous. That's what I like. The final will tell. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, the other thing that I'm so sure so many students are confused, which country goes to the top? 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 It's Kenya, because of the expression here. Kenya shilling per dollar. Thank you very much. It's Kenya. So then this is Kenya, our beautiful country, Kenya. Our beautiful country, Kenya, like that. Thank you so much. Now come here, ladies and gentlemen, and then try to plug in. So you're saying that our forward rate should be equal to spot rate into 1 plus inflation in Kenya now, all over 1 plus inflation in the USA, like that. So this time around, they have given us the forward. Spot is what we don't have. 1 plus inflation in Kenya. Inflation in Kenya is 0.08, but this figure must be prorated. The figure must be prorated. All right. All over 1 plus inflation in the US, inflation rate in the USA is 0.04, but again, this figure must be prorated. 3 months, it's here. 3 months forward, it is there. I just came and fixed it without you guys seeing. That's how a sadist of an examiner behaves. He writes it in a very small handwriting in an exam. You can't even see it. All right, I'm joking. Now, having reached here, I'm so sure that some 20% of you guys will go underneath the bus because of what here, somebody? Because of yes, we'll go underneath the bus because of your poor skills in body mass. When I get plus and multiplication, first of all, I'll get my calculator, say 0.08 times 3 over 12. Whatever I get here, I add to 1. Please give me an answer. It is 100 equals S into what here? Somebody please give me the numerator value. 1.02, thank you very much. All over, how about the denominator value? 1.01. Thank you very much. Now from there, ladies and gentlemen, our S, if I cross multiply, will be 100 times if I cross multiply. 1.01 over 1.02, like that. If I do it that way, then I'll be able to get my figure of S. And you can see the 99.02. You can see the 99.02 Kenya shillings per dollar figure. I saw so many students who got this. But again, there are so many students, ladies and gentlemen, who never got this figure. But I got the concept. Thank you very much, Sarah. It's all about being able to get the concept, getting the concept. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, I would want us to try May 2017, question number 4, boy. 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 Is there somebody who has been able to give us this, to get this question, I mean? Is there somebody who has been able to get this question? Yeah. And from tomorrow, I would want all my students to be signing into my class with their names, full names. I don't want to see B.O. I don't want to see Annie. I don't want to see Betty. No, I would want to see if it's Beatrice Anyango. I want to get used to my students what names like the other day I saw Wamboi Njonjo. Wamboi Njonjo is a student that I taught some time back. Now she's the CEO of Safaricom Sacco. Yeah, CEO of Safaricom Sacco. So I need to start getting used to the names of my future CEOs. I need to know them. And I'm very good in cramming names. Very good in cramming names. All right. Like Abdul Naji is a man from Mombasa. A man from Mombasa. I'll never forget that name. When I come to Mombasa, nataka munitengeneze chakula mzuri ambayo imewekwa nazi. They're all over these sectors, yes. These sectors, yes. So please, I need to know your names. Ata chai ya nazi sijaisikia. That will be your first one. That will be your first one. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. So May 2017, question number 4B. So number 1, using the interest rate parity relationship, compute the expected 5 months, not a whole year, but 5 months forward exchange rate as at 31st May 2017. And then advise Biashara Limited on which is the better hedging strategy between a forward contract and a money market hedge. Is there somebody who wants Mwalimu to do this question outrightly, or Mwalimu to give you like 3 minutes to try yourselves, especially part 1? Instead of interest rate parity, is there somebody who is saying, Mwalimu, let's try this? 3 minutes here, let's try this. 3 minutes. 3 minutes we do. So I'll have to stop recording a little bit. Let's try. So what? Let's pick this question from up. Biashara Limited is an import-export company based in Kenya. On 1st January 2017, the company exported coffee worth $140,000. So this $140,000, $140,000, is it going to be a payment or a receivable? It's a receipt. So, and if it's a receipt, ladies and gentlemen, what are we able to remember here very fast? Foreign boyfriend. Foreign boyfriend. Foreign receipt. Borrow. Foreign. Foreign receipt. Borrow what here? Borrow foreign. Foreign receipt. Borrow foreign. So we've got 2 countries involved in this question. Which country and which country do we have here? Kenya and USA. Therefore, I'm going to borrow in a foreign land. I'm going to borrow foreign, which will be in USA. Basically, I'll borrow a loan, which is denominated in terms of US dollars. So borrow in US, and remember, I'll not eat this amount borrowed. When I borrow this amount, I'm going to convert and invest in the other currency. So invest in which country? Invest in which country? Invest in Kenya. Thank you very much. Invest in Kenya. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, once I've been able to know that, now I'll be able to remember the formula. Interest rate parity, not an issue. I have the formula F equals S into 1 plus interest, country C, all over 1 plus interest, country B. So look at the spot exchange rate that has been given. The spot exchange rate given, 1st January 2017 is 100 Kenya shillings per US dollar. Is 100 Kenya shillings per US dollar. So from this expression, which country becomes the numerator? Which country becomes the numerator from this expression? Which country goes to C? It's Kenya, yes. Kenya shillings per. Kenya shillings, top country, Kenya. So this becomes interest in Kenya. This becomes interest in USA. Is there anybody who got this? Is there anybody who got this correctly? Somebody should be able to help me answer, Livy. Which question is this? May 2017 something. Great, thank you very much. Now from there, now I hope you are able to pick it. I hope you are able to pick these things. That in Kenya, I'm going to invest. So in Kenya, this should be the investment rate. In Kenya, this should be the investment rate. And in the USA, I'm going to borrow. In the USA, I'm going to borrow. In the USA, I'm going to borrow. So again, sorry for asking you so many questions. Is there anybody who was able to interpret this thing like this? In Kenya, it's investing. In the US, it's borrowing. Not me, Mercy. Already I've thrown you under the bus. I'm so sorry. When you are my student, Beatrice, I threw you under the bus with this concept here. Raphael, I also threw you under the bus. I'm so sorry. We shall overcome. Fortunately, Charity, I also threw you under the bus. Evelyn, I threw you under the bus long time ago. But you see, the spot means what? Today. When I've entered in this transaction. Look at this question. When do we export? The export in this case here occurred. When did the export occur? Well, this export, we're told up there on 1st January 2017. And when you look at the expected, 1st January 2017, 100 becomes our spot kindly. That becomes our spot kindly. Great. Now from ladies and gentlemen, then please go ahead and tell me what is, so I'll come here very fast. I'll come very fast here. Say F equals, yes, F equals, the spot is 100 into 1 plus, what is the investing rate in Kenya? Investing rate in Kenya. Investing rate in Kenya, it has to be the lower. When you go to invest, lower, it's 0.18. All over 1 plus the borrowing rate in the USA. Borrowing rate in the USA. Borrowing rate in the USA is 0.15. After that, is there anybody who remember to prorate the rates of interest? Is there anybody who remember to prorate the rates of interest? Times 5 over 12. Times 5 over 12, like that. So please go ahead and give me this figure slowly. So it will be 100 times. Give me the numerator first of all. Give me the numerator. My home tells me the numerator now, Mwalimu, I can't be wrong. The numerator is 1.075 all over the denominator. All over the denominator, 1.0625. And therefore my F will be equal to what? My F will be equal to what? Shem tells me it is 101. 0.18. Are they cows? Are they cows? If they are cows, tell us we have them producing the sound of moo. 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 Kenya shillings per what year? Kenya shillings per US dollar. This is the correct position. How many of us were able to get that figure right? How many of us were able to get that figure right? There are seven. Moreka almost, Gracie 8, Abdallah 4 marks, Mary dancing. We shall overcome. Now I'm seeing some students who are telling me that Mwalimu, I assumed the 100 and 102, they are arranged. You know, ranges don't come to us in different dates. If you go to date 2, for example, Standard Chartered Bank, you'll see they've given you some red plate telling you the buying rate is 100 today and maybe selling rate is 102. You can't go and take a rate which belongs to this year and another rate which belongs in another year. You tell us it's a range, Bila. No. That's why you see ranges, if it's spot, the same date, lower and upper. Future, lower and upper. Bila, are we together there? Are we together there, Bila? Are we together there, Bila? I missed the spot. The rest is okay. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want you to do me a favor. If you look at this question, part B, they want us to do something very easy. They want us to advise Biashara Limited on which is the better hedging strategy between a forward contract and a money market hedge. So they want us to assume like we know nothing about this question, and we do the question ourselves from beginning to the end. Beginning to the end. Forward contract, money market. So first we start with forward contract. I can see already people have figures. Like forward contract, my mom is giving me a figure. Shem says done long time ago. Done long time ago. Great. So I'm giving you exactly 10 minutes. 5 for forward, 5 for money markets. Great. No, why don't you go your break? I like the answer which Shem is giving to GX here, that generally all receipts borrow foreign and invest local. All payments borrow local and invest foreign. That's so nice. So Abdul is among the first ones that I've seen who has gotten this money market figure correct, right? 14,164, 730 something. I even bet even Karen got this correctly. Money markets as yet, no. Money market Philistas is very correct. Forward, I can see still different figures. Let's do this together. So we will start with forward contract. Let's start with forward contract. It is the same answer for both. Let's start with forward contract. So for forward contract, what do we have here? Number one, I have the amount. So I have the amount to be hedged is 140,000 US dollar. So give me the 5 months forward. You know, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that you're supposed to know always is that Satan is real and the Satan exists and is there to mislead God's people. So you get a situation where the student calculated a very nice forward figure. And then they'll go ahead to make use of what year 1 or 2. Is that not certain? Is that not certain really? Because 102 is expected, and here you have calculated already the forward figure, right? Already we have the forward figure. So the forward figure supposed to be using here is 101.18 Kenya shillings per US dollar. Thank you very much. He instills fear, yes, he's there. And he instills out of fear. We should always, in this case here, say bad things about him. 101.18 Kenya shillings equals 1 US dollar. How about 140,000 US dollar, like that? So when you cross multiply, it will be 140,000 times 101.18, which will end up giving me how much? Which will end up giving me how much? 14,165, 14,165, 200. Cows, no, these are Kenya shillings. Is there anybody who was misled by Satan himself? Is there anybody who was misled by Satan himself and they used a different figure here? Yes, 101.2. We shall overcome. My screen, by the way, my screen has a shadow, yes. Has a shadow, yes. My screen has a shadow. But I hope you guys are able to see this thing very nicely. Great. So are you able to, I hope now the shadow has disappeared. Great. Yeah, it has disappeared, yes. Great. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after that, now I want to believe that we've now known how to work this thing out in a way that even Satan can never mislead us. Now we are okay. Thank you very much. From there, now we go to the money markets. From there, we go to the money markets. So money markets, what do we have? So under money market, the very first thing I'll do, even if I know nothing about money markets, I will always, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, draw what here? Draw a table. I'll always draw a table. Always, you start from there. Na tukasema table yako, hapana weka madoido tafadhali, hapana. Kuna vitu ambazo zimepitwa sana na wakati. Kama vitu ya kuweka kama meza, unaweka meza kitambaa, ya nini? Nowadays tunataka simplicity. Hata mimi ukinipatia nyumba ambayo kitchen iko closed, nakataa. Siku hizi nyumba kitchen nafaa kuwa open. I should be able to see what you are doing in the kitchen, right? If I can't see what you are doing in the kitchen, then I don't want that food, right? Right? At times kama sasa si wanaume, tunabelieve sana, tunapenda kuweka mafuta kidogo sana kwa chakula. You know, most ladies akishika mafuta kama ni Elianto ama ni gani, anataka mwage hata bila kutumia kiji. Sisi hatutaki hivyo. So nataka ni mayai yangu, nataka kuweka olive oil kadogo namna hii, na fry namna hii peke yangu direct. So sitaki ufunge nini jikoni, nafunga jikoni kwa nini? Hiyo mambo ili excuse me, open kitchen iliisha. Yes. Now ladies and gentlemen, here we are. So nikishaweka namna hiyo, najua mguu ya kwanza kama mzee, hata kama nifuliza, lazima tunaanza na boro. Wazee tuko na mambo mengi sana. Lazima tunaanza na mambo mengi sana sisi. Kakibaki kakitu surplus after kuboroboro namna hii, pia tunajua kuinvest. Wazee ni hatari. Namna hiyo, tunajua kuinvest. Namna hiyo. So always lazima uanze na boro. Na umeniambia the rule to be used is foreign boyfriend. So in this case, you're supposed to borrow foreign. You're supposed to borrow foreign, and this foreign is basically the US dollar, and then we invest in Kenya shillings basically, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, please go to the rates. Already you have the rates. Give me, what is the borrowing rate of a US dollar? Remember, borrow GX. If you're given, for example, interest rate here, 10 to 20%. Borrowing rate, banks' borrowing rate must always be very expensive. Borrowing rate is always, the higher is the borrowing. The other one is the investing or the lending. So they're telling me that, Mwalimu, if I go to borrow the US dollar, it's going to be quite expensive for me. It's 0.15. Don't forget the proration times 5/12 plus 1. You guys haven't given me this figure. It will be 1 point. Please give me this figure very fast. It will be 1 point what here, somebody? 1.0625. 1.0625, like that. How about investing or lending this money to Kenyan banks? Investing or lending this money to Kenyan banks, 18%. So then this is 0.18 times 5/12 plus 1, which will end up giving me 1.075. Now remember that for money market, conversion is always at spot. Conversion is always at spot. Are you able to remember the spot rate? Are you able to remember the spot rate? Are you able to remember the spot rate? So the spot rate here is 100 Kenya shillings per US dollar. Iko wanafunzi ambao wanapenda kulifurahisha sana. So unapata spot rate has been given to you as a single figure. Like now here they give a spot rate as 100. It's not a range. It's not like 100 to 102. And then you get a student from, and I'm able to tell as an invigilator that that is my student. When they're doing even these big exams, I'm able to tell that is my student. Like unapata mwanafunzi apewa range, anapata single figure namna hiyo, na kakopana kanatingiza mkono. Unatingiza mkono kwenda wapi? Kwenda wapi? We only get to shake our hands, ladies and gentlemen, whenever we are given lower and upper values. Ranges, yes. Ranges, yes. Right? So are we together kwamba hapa hakuna kutingiza mkono? Nasema ati hakuna kutingiza mkono hapa. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after that, now you'll come and put the money in the question here. This 140,000 you put here. And then now you'll be able to remember very fast. Ladies and gentlemen, that up, what do we do? Up, divide. Up we divide. Up we divide. So 140,000 divided by this gives me what figure, somebody? 140,000 divided by this figure that we have here gives us what figure, somebody, very fast? 131,735. 131,765, sorry, US dollar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from there I can see there is a rate here. There is a rate here. It's 100 Kenya shillings equals $1. How about these dollars? I'm going to multiply. Could you kindly give me a figure to write here? 131,765, 100. 131,765, 100. Now they are Kenya shillings. So down, what do we do downwards? Downwards, what do we do downwards? We multiply always. Downwards, we always multiply. Downwards, we always do what here? We always multiply. So could you kindly multiply this for us? When you multiply this figure times this, what are we getting here? We're getting 141. We're getting 141, 64, 141, 64, 141, 64, 737, 738, 738. And now these are Kenya shillings. So please come and mount your yellow color there. Put a very good highlighter on top. On top. Yeah, put a yellow highlighter on top. Put a yellow highlighter on top. Now, after you've done that, have they asked us for any advisory? Have they asked us for any advisory? Yeah. So if they have asked us for advisory, then what I'll do, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come and do a summary. I will come here and do a summary. So I'll come here and do a summary. So katika summary, I'll tell my people under forward contract, how much do I expect to receive? Under money market, how much do I expect to receive? So money market is 141,64,738 Kenya shillings. Forward contract, unfortunately, I have forgotten my figures. Forward contract, unfortunately, I have forgotten my figure. Forward contract, unfortunately, I have forgotten My figure, it is 141.65, 141.65, 141.65, 200 Kenya shillings like that. So between the two, which one in this case do we recommend? Which one do we recommend between the two? The one that is higher because this is a receipt. So basically, from what I'm able to see here, but yes, both are quite close, but ultimately, the forward contract will give us more money. So forward contract is what here is optimal. Forward contract is optimal. Forward contract is optimal. So 102 is an expected figure. It's not a forward figure. And for sure, so many students ended up using 102 as the forward. And we were able, in this case here, of course, to place them where they belong, which is what here being returned back to the sender. You don't know finance. Go back to Aura again. Thank you so much. Great. November 2018, under the bus, yes. Kiraito Murungi's bus. Yes. November 2018, question number 3, boy. November 2018, question number 3, boy. November 2018, question number 3, boy. You're going very, very slowly. Am I doing a mistake? Am I doing a mistake, Mr. Google? We shall overcome. Yeah, kuna topics ambazo najua lazima ziende namna hiyo. So November 2018, question number 3, boy. Question number 3, boy. Shigiri Investments Limited. Are we there? Wait. November 2018, question number 3, boy. Question number 3, boy. This is quite a good question. Quite a good question. Because again, I'm going to meet this concept of options, which confuses very many students. You know, this is a must-come area. It's a must-come area. There are those areas that we normally time. It's a must-come area. So if already I've gotten the question, allow me to read it. Shigiri Investment Limited is a company based in Kenya. The company exported goods on credit to a firm in the USA. The company expects to receive 800,000 in 1 year's time. So I know it's a foreign boyfriend question. However, Shigiri Investment Limited, the current spot exchange rate is $1 equals Kenya shillings what here? 60. However, Shigiri Investment Limited created a probability distribution for the forward spot rate in 1 year. So the forward spot rate has been given to us, although in the form of a probability distribution. 1 year put options on the US dollar are available with an exercise of Kenya shillings 3 and a premium of 4 per US dollar. 2, 1 year call options are available on the US dollar with an excess price of Kenya shillings 60 and a premium of Kenya shillings 3 per US dollar. The future spot rate is estimated in a year's time to be Kenya shillings 62 per US dollar. The following are the money market annual rates. So determine whether a forward market hedge, money market hedge, or a currency option hedge would be the most appropriate hedging strategy for the company. So I would want you guys to start with the forward exchange rate model, the forward hedging model. So you write there in full, forward hedge, forward hedge, forward hedge. These I'll get all the marks. I will get all the marks. Forward hedge. So before I do it, I would want to see whether there is any student who will be able to get this thing correctly. who will be able to get this thing correctly? Forward hedge. Is there any student who will be able to get it correctly? Forward hedge. Forward hedge. Is there any student who will be able to get this correctly? Forward hedge. 1 minute. That the forward rate has been given like a figure here and a probability. Another figure with its probability, another figure with its probability. So she has known it is the concept of tata, 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 and she multiplied the forward rates given with their corresponding probabilities. Aka add zote, 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 aka add zote. So, then, gentlemen, I would want you to finish this question, including the currency option without fail. Without fail. I would want you guys to clear this question tonight, including the currency option, and then we get to see who will be the first to get this correctly. So I hope you guys will be able to do service to this question. So it's everybody, including the students who are watching this video. That's our homework for you. That's our homework for you.